It's difficult to play the various instruments generally, to change them up, because each one of them has a different feel. And that's something we train ourselves to do as trumpet players, to deal with different instruments, different keys. So some of them are smaller and feel a little more tight, and some of them feel very open like the flugelhorn. And our chops and our bodies respond differently to them. But this is sort of an extreme version where it's very unusual to have in one work to have to play 5 different instruments. And of course, at the very end, Doug has me switching in a matter of seconds to sort of bring about a recapitulation of of all the earlier movements. So that's very difficult on 2 levels. One is each instrument feels different, and then there's a simple logistic of putting an instrument down without destroying it or throwing it to the ground and getting another up without actually hitting myself in the face. So it requires a lot of coordination. As I got to know Doug's music, I thought, how wonderful would it be for this brilliant writer and orchestrator to write a piece for me. So this is where the seed was first planted very early on in 2002. And then in 2006, the timing was right to compose a piece. I was a guest artist at the 2006 Melbourne International Festival of Brass in Australia, and I proposed to them, hey, what if we do this new concerto that's being written? And so then we had a target date for completion, and Doug spent months researching music from around the world before putting the piece together. And I feel like Doug knows my playing as well or better than anyone else. And so when he wrote for me, I knew I would be challenged, but I also knew he would be keeping in mind my own musical personality. I think he thinks very much of the way Ellington did for his own soloists. Anytime Doug writes for someone, he really wants to write around their musical character and personality. It's part of the beauty of jazz in particular that there's so much that is left up to, not to chance, but it's not predetermined. I mean, there's so many things that are open, and there are always surprises, and there are always things that don't go as you intended, especially in the jazz performance. And with good musicians, this usually means something cool will happen, you know? And so it becomes on the one hand, very relaxed in terms of we're not worried. On the other hand, very exciting because there's all this musical energy and all these great opportunities. And every one of the soloists that are coming down are fantastic players. So for me to have a chance to interact with them and to play with them is a lovely opportunity. Thank you. It's a pleasure.